Hey, it's John here from Panzopoly Games, and I thought I'd start a new series where we go through the PvE experience of Escape from Tarkov. Now, I've been a huge fan of Escape from Tarkov for many years, and I just love how intricate the game is and how the developers just keep adding new and exciting details and content to the game. Now, I'm not one of the best gamers out there, so if you're looking for some skilled players of this game, doing some incredible plays, making all those headshots, then I would check out someone like Landmark or Chief GG and check out their channels and see what they're up to. But what I wanted to do here is show you how this is one of the most in-depth games you can sink hours into without getting bored. It has RPG elements for you to level up, a main story, side missions for you to work on, and there's constantly new content being added to the game. So this also would give an incredible single player experience. Now it's true, to get the real experience of the game, you should go and play the PvP version so that you can experience the fear and dread of not knowing who else you'll run into in the world. But if you're like me, you have a full-time job, a family to take care of, and other responsibilities, then I'd say that the PvE side of this game would probably suit you and your lifestyle better. It still has that dread and fear to some extent, but definitely not as hardcore as the PvP version. And you know what? This PvE side existing is what I love about Battlestate Games or BSG. They made it available for players like us who might be juggling many things in our lives, even though there's a bunch of people out there, a bunch of hardcore players out there who don't like the idea of it. But I think this is one of the best games out there to try single player. So in this video, I thought I'd run through some parts of the game, show you what it's like, and hopefully give you a good idea of what this game is, and so that you can better decide if this is something you want to get into. Now, just a heads up, this game is pricey. You have to buy one of the editions of the game, and then buy the PvE Zone add-on. So if you buy that standard edition on Steam, it's $69.99 CAD, which is what I'm looking at now. And then you have to buy the PVE version, or Zone, which is another $41.99. So you're looking at $112 Canadian on Steam right now. But, I guarantee that this is a game that you'll be playing for years. And so let's jump into it. Right now I'm on the PvE side. Oh, sorry. Right now I'm on the PvP side. And we're going to jump here to the PvE. I just reset my account on the PvE side, which is something you can do. You can independently reset the your PvP or PvE accounts. So yes, I want to switch over to PvE. So you'll take a look at what it looks like to, first launch the game, first get into it, and see what's going on. So you can choose two factions here. They have their, perks like USEC. You won't be shot by the rogues on site. You can kind of do some stuff there, so maybe that's a little bit less intense. And then you have Bear here, which will have a lot, some of the their own things to look forward to. But I'll go with USEC for now, just because I think it might be kind of fun just to sneak around the rogues that will appear later in the game. And so I'll push next here, and then classic RPG stuff here. You can choose what you look like. I usually go for Takeda here. And then you have different voices that you can choose here. It's funny because the game head designer, Nikita,
Another day в нашем городе Таркове. Ёбаный в
made his
рот.
voice available for people to choose. And so, again, just another thing I love about BSG, just that they are for the gamers and will do fun things like this. And so, push next. And then what happens is that, in 1.0, they introduce a storyline to this. And so there'll be a little cutscene that you can watch. They have a tutorial that they'll just boot you straight into. And so that's what we're going to see here is we might see that cutscene and then play through the tutorial. And then it's definitely a good intro to the game. Show what's going on and a little bit of the story, the lore of what's happening in the world of Tarkov.
The Norvensk region has forever changed the moment it was turned into an open economic zone. Both Norvensk and Tarkov became centers of international partnership. One of the most influential corporations on the global stage, Terra Group, has established its regional headquarters in Tarkov. Terra Group scientists promised to bring our world towards the future. Even back then, it was obvious the old world was on its way out. In Tarkov, the corporation was actively acquiring land and absorbed local businesses for the sake of its revolutionary projects. Virtus in scientia. That's what they used to say. Terra Group's influence in the city grew rapidly. It wasn't long before they started showing interest in restricted government facilities, a move that couldn't go unnoticed by domestic security agencies. In order to protect their enterprises, Terra Group hired a foreign PMC, United Security. USEC personnel began blocking access to Terra Group's facilities, and even the government authorities no longer had a full picture of what the corporation was doing within Tarkov's borders. Eventually, a team of investigators was sent to the local headquarters to search the building and compile a report. But the USEC operatives refused to let the law officials through and opened fire. After that incident, a new force appeared in the Norvensk region, PMC Bear. Their main mission was to expose and gather evidence of Terra Group's illegal activities around the world. At first, Bear's operations and their clashes with USEC forces were limited and isolated, but the tension escalated quickly. It was too risky to fully involve military forces to maintain order due to the region's special status. The UN forces and Russian military blocked all routes in and out of the city, and the UNTAR mission began evacuating civilians. But despite the authorities' statements, the situation in Tarkov was no longer under anyone's control. The conflict between Bear and USEC evolved into an all-out armed conflict. Marauders and bandits, soon nicknamed Scabs, only made things worse. For several years, both PMCs fought each other, each carrying out orders from their respective command. Before all this, Tarkov was featured in the world's top financial news. And now it shows up in the combat logs of the contract wars. But it didn't end there. Terra Group's local headquarters became Bear's primary objective, withstanding multiple assault attempts. During one of those raids, something happened. An event that split Tarkov's history into the before and after.
Alright, so yeah, gives us an idea of the background of this game. Here we are, a USEC PMC waking up after that incident. We got our handy pistol here with a flashlight. And so in this tutorial, it's just trying to teach you how health system works, how the different type of loot that you can see. And so, oh, looks like they introduced this marker to now show when you're near an objective or a lore item. And so you can see pointing me to this tape, and then here I can pick up the tape, play last found tape. So let's take a listen to that with our handy tape player.
To all USEC units. Blast killed our electronics. No comm with HQ. We have lost control of the facility. Evacuate through Exfil 3 towards the port. Exfil 3. Expect enemy contact. Proceed with caution. Any non-USEC individuals are to be considered hostile. Defend yourselves. Use sound judgment.
All right. So, been told in that tape that we need to find a way to get to the port escape. So what I'm doing is I'm just finding some loot around here. Found some medication stuff that will come in handy. Now the thing is, I think for the tutorial section, you'll eventually run through it and escape from this area, but I don't think you really keep what you loot. So I don't think there's a reason anymore. Before, I think when the game first came out, there was a reason to check all the loot containers and see what you can find. But since the game came out, they've changed it and just kind of standardized what you get for completing the tutorial. So I'm just doing this to show you what it's like to get some of the stuff done. Let's see what we can find here. Run around. So yeah, I got some. Oh, there's another. I never noticed this one. I like that quest indicator actually. Yeah.
Commander, how much longer do you reckon we'll be stuck here?
For as long as they tell us to. Terror Group still has a fuckload of unclosed facilities in Tarkov.
You think they'll manage to pull everything out on time? Even with their resources? Sounds impossible.
Let them set their priorities themselves. We've already got our hands full babysitting HVIs and hauling out Terror Group's docks.
But still, even if everything is moved out, there will be hundreds of digital drives left behind. There's no way to evacuate something like that in war conditions.
They're not going to extract everything. Okay, I heard Terror Group has some kind of weapon that wipes data from the systems. All of it.
Like an EMP? Surely they're gonna give us a heads up, right? It would screw up all our coordination.
Why would they hide it from us? Even if they do end up using this thing, it'll only be after we're evacuated. Without our PMC support, they wouldn't last long. They have no one but us.
And what about those contractors we transferred the HVIs to? They looked quite serious. No, shady too. No insignias, no patches. Who are they anyway?
There's no info on them from HQ, so clearly we shouldn't get involved in that shit. They might be linked to that specialist guy over at the lighthouse. Perhaps they're just an escort crew from outside the border. Our guys are stretched thin here, and either way, we can't trust them.
Makes you wonder how fast Terror Group would have been screwed up without us involved. Especially now. And even some of our own commanders are staying away from their orders.
Listen, watch your mouth. Any other situation, I'd have you deployed somewhere far worse, so shut up. Shut up!
Yes, sir.
Interesting. So we're just learning about how, yeah, these USEC people were kind of betrayed by the Terror Group. The Terror Group unleashed their EMP weapon on the battlefield without first making sure that the USEC people were safe. And so I think that's why we now find ourselves being a USEC person. But let's see what it says here. Commander already has poor weapon maintenance. If your gun jams, forcing you, yeah. So I don't know if you saw, but when I picked up this gun, it was jammed, which happens when your gun if your gun is overheated, it can jam, and you have to clear out the chamber, or let me make sure. Am I on full auto? Let's see what we got here. Okay. I have to check my keybinds. I wanted to see if I can turn on the laser for this. But yeah, you have to clear the jams, and you just have to be mindful of that when you're shooting here. So I think there should be a scav. A couple scavs you can hear. So you can see them there. Try to get a good angle on them. Okay. And then as you saw that you have magazines that you have to make sure you are keeping an eye on. Each one has its own bullets in there, so you gotta make sure you're... Oh, there's another one in there. I think that's his head. Yeah, see, it's a little tough spotting those scavs, spotting those headshots. And so that's why this game is kind of fun though, is that it doesn't really hold your hand, but when you land those headshots, yeah, it feels good. I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep this, but just in case. And so, yeah, even during the raid, what you'll find is that you can do things like, there are certain parts that you can take on, put on, take off, put on, change the look. Oh, that's not that good. As you can see, the laser designator kind of blocks the sight a bit if I change it up. And so, we get back to our hideout. We can play around with that a bit more. Try to find spacers, things to raise and lower your sight so that you can see over other things. But I think this gun uses, let's just see. Is that, oh, it does work. So yeah, in this game, you'll be doing this a bunch. Just managing your ammo. You have to make sure after each fight that you're topping up your magazines again, getting yourself ready for the next encounter, and so on. So let's again, you'll kill scavs. Might encounter some here. You know, for the most part, I don't think you will keep the loot that you get in this area. So, I'm kind of just tempted to just run and try to get past this point. Finish up with the tutorial here, and then get on to some real raids. So let's try to do that. Spot any scavs that way. No. Oh, there they are. So let's just take care of them. So I think there was another one. That was one. Two. Yes. And you just have to watch out. I think there is... It's a claymore here, right? So oh my goodness. Am I gonna die in the tutorial? Oh, wow. That was almost embarrassing. But hey, you know what? Sometimes in the game you do die to scavs, so not something to be ashamed of, so I'll tell myself. So we're just gonna patch ourselves up. No biggie. Let's see what we have here for marker. Just shows us exfils for ground zero, which is what this tutorial map is based off of. I really wonder how many people die from on the tutorial here. I haven't died before, but that's a little close. So I guess we'll just heal up. I don't think there's a reason to do surgery, so I'll kind of skip it. Oh, workarounds. Sure. And so just because I think there's going to be a few more scavs that we run into. It's going to top up our magazines. And then all these little actions that you do during the game, topping up magazines, healing, doing surgery, these are all things that, all skills that your PMC needs to level up. They don't need to level it up, but can level up. And so as you play the game, and even if you die, you just know that at least you leveled up some of your skills. And then you can always go back into the game a little stronger, better idea of what to do, what not to do. And so this game is definitely one that is meant for you to just kind of keep going. Maybe you have to hit your head against the wall a few times, but in the end, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Deagle there. Again, we won't keep any of these weapons, I don't think, so I'm just gonna run and try to get through this tutorial, hopefully get into an actual raid, but just want to make sure, see if there's anything that will help me. That guy. Always have to make sure you have a 2 slot available for the you put like the empty magazine in. That's still good. I think this one's bigger. You can hear scav. That's what this game's all about, sound cues. Oh. I didn't know there was a... It's underneath here? Where is it? What am I looking for? Oh. That's frustrating. I don't really know what I'm looking for. Maybe it's on the other side. Maybe I'll see it when I go to the other side there. Another thing here? Okay, oh, okay. Oh, I can't read that. Oh, I don't know. some better armor. If anything, I just need bullets, just in case. Yeah, I don't want to run out of anything. FMJ. Guess I could always pick out the bullets from my sidearm here. Oh. I forgot the tutorial. It's all about eating and stuff. I think it just saps your energy. So if you run out of water, I believe you just start taking some damage. You get like dehydrated. But if you run out of energy, you pass out and you die in the raid. And so it's always better to, yeah, at least have some, making sure that your energy is at like a good level. I'm feeling some of the pain from having that broken arm, so I'm just gonna pop a PK painkiller here, and then instead of doing surgery, just trying to just keep pushing along. Yes, so you can. So you don't want to be in their line of fire for too long, because they become more and more accurate the longer they're looking at you. So that's how you get killed. So we're just gonna push them a bit here. I think there's 3 of them. I don't know where the other one went. Okay. Oh, I got one of them. Oh, I see. No wonder why it threw me off. They're both wearing the same type of helmet. And I just love the amount of different loot that's in this game. Different types of items. You have food items. You have components that you'll need to construct your hideout. You have weapons. There's just so much different loot in this game. Maybe you might find it overwhelming, but I just think it keeps things interesting. And yeah, it's always good to like check your scavs, even though they may not have the best weapons or things like that. You never know if you're going to find, yeah, some sort of. Oh, here, it's another. I'll just skip it for now. Take a look at it in a bit. We're kind of running low on time. So I just want to see. I thought there was a quest item that I didn't quite. Yeah, I don't know how to get to that one that was on the stairwell that I couldn't see. Maybe it was the note that I found on the dead body, that was just kind of sensing it through the floor. So for now, let's just escape here. Get on to the real game. And there we are. A typical, yeah, tutorial raid. After the game, you get to have the summary. Who you killed. What happened to you. It's always nice to look at the damage to the body. So, especially if you get killed, you at least know, like, oh, did I hit that guy? And then you might see, oh, all of my damage was absorbed by the armor. That's why I didn't kill him. And here we are, getting some XP. Now you might notice that, yes, I'm not starting at level 1. Might just be because I played a lot of Arena. And so it might just be giving me showing me the XP from my Arena playing. But yes, typically you would start at level 1 and work your way up. So welcome to the PVE game mode. In this game mode, you can experience a full game with persistent PVE character progression. So again, they won't reset it. The only way you reset your PVE progression is if you go on the website and do it yourself. So you can do it solo with friends without being attacked by other players in raid. All mechanics are identical to the PvP game mode. So good luck. So you're here. You know, I've been adding a bunch of promo codes that they come up with just to get items for my PvP character. But you know, for this run through, I won't really use any of that. And then here, as I said before, it looks like you don't get what is this? Oh, you get this for linking your Discord server or Discord, not server, but Discord user to your account. So we didn't get any of those items that we went into the raid with. So we see here we're just stuck to our default loadout. What they now do is that they give you a LEDX and a GPU for finishing the tutorial. So before you had to find this, some players missed it and missed out on getting this. These are pretty, yeah, it's helpful to get some of the side quests done that require you to find an item. These items, especially with the found in raid status, which means you got it in the raid and you successfully escaped with it. So that is there. But depending on the bundle that you bought and the side that you chose, USEC or Bear, you get some starting equipment in here. And so we're just going to put some of this on and try to get ourselves into a raid. So we won't really do the pistol. And then what I like to do, going into my raids, I always have to have one thing for heavy bleeds, the S mark, one thing for the light bleeds, the army. Get a healing thing in there. Get a couple of surgery kits. And then what guns do they give you to start off with? An MDR? Sure. That's a good gun. We'll do that. And then, yeah, they already gave you a sight to put on it. And then after that, we need to make sure that we get some magazines full of ammo. So we will do that. M855. We'll put a stack of M855s in there. And then they gave you this pouch. With the edition that I got, I get the Gamma pouch, which is 3x3. The standard edition, I believe, is 2x2. And so yeah, you do pay, when you pay extra, you do get some of those convenience things like bigger pockets. You might start off with only 4 single slots, but yeah, it's still a fun. Yeah, it's just more for convenience, and if anything, it just gives you a more of a challenge for yourself. So yeah, we'll put a splint in here. Stuff in this pouch won't go away if you die. So it's a good place to put some meds, or while you're in raid, if you find that item that you really need, you can always put it in your pouch. Because we're in PVE, doesn't really matter if we're sticking out like a sore thumb. Usually I try to avoid maybe some armors that are tan colored or overly exposed. We can quickly go pick some stuff in here by clicking on the top there. I have my ammo. Let's do a check before we jump in. I have my ammo. I have my meds. Maybe I'll want a painkiller. I'll keep that there. Stuff for heavy bleeds. Food, water. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. Obviously, we have to customize our drip. You have to look cool while you're out there, right? So let's try to look cool. Yeah. What do we got here? I never wear the Hawaiian shirts because it sticks out so much, but maybe now it's all about, we do need to get that Hawaiian look. Loud jeans and a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, I'd wear that. In fact, I'd probably go more pink. Yeah. I'm on vacation. PVE. This is my vacation. Can just go in, do some raids, take it easy, right? All right, so what do they want us to do? Well, because of the main story task that they put in here, oh yeah, when you first start out the game, your character needs to identify any like new items that they run into. So I'm just pushing the middle mouse button to identify those keys, and you get XP for doing that. And going forward, you'll now recognize what it is. Just some fun things like that. Little things that they add to the game to make it more interesting. So talk to Ragman, talk to Therapist. Let's meet some of the characters in the Tarkov world here. Start with Therapist.
Здравствуйте. Что-то срочное?
Hello, our guys, for giving your contact in case of emergency. I need to reach the evacuation point at the port. Can you help me with this?
Вы правильно сделали, что обратились ко мне. Но я не смогу провести вас через весь город. В Таркове ни у кого нет полного контроля над территорией.
What can you do to help me with? What can you help me with then? I need to know my way around this place.
Я знаю людей, которые могли бы показать вам безопасные маршруты в городских кварталах. Но вы должны понимать, что на удержание этих проходов уходит немало ресурсов.
So I'll have to pay for info on these routes? How much?
Мы пользуемся этими маршрутами для вывода гражданских, поэтому не экономим на безопасности.
All right, I've got the money here. Of course, you know. Yeah.
Я рада, что вам оказалась небезразлична судьба мирных жителей, с трудом
I think it would be more
выживающих
than
в
that.
городских кварталах.
Just one little stack.
Вы сделали правильный выбор.
I'm glad that you care about the fate of civilians struggling to survive in the city blocks. You made the correct choice. So I think by doing that,
До свидания.
we unlocked Streets of Tarkov by paying that 250,000, and that's what the beginning of the game is all about. It's all about talking to, it's all about talking to these main characters. It's called the tour, I believe, is the quest that unlocks the different maps. And as you talk to the traders, they will unlock different parts of the map for you, and then you can go to these places, and you might just have to do a couple missions to advance and unlock more maps to visit. So let's go to Ragman.
Будь как дома, не стесняйся.
Hello, our guys were told you could help if there were any supply issues.
Обижаешь, Ахпер. У барахольщика ты все найдешь, что нужно. Хочешь броники, хочешь реально модный шмот, тебе подберем. Но ты же не просто так зашел, а?
I need to get to the port. I don't know the area.
Эвакуироваться собрался, да? Много кто там выйти пытался. Но зашел ты правильно. Я тебя и с нужными людьми сведу, и дорогу покажу. Сделай только кое-что для меня сначала.
What do you need?
В лесочке рядом с Ультрой какой-то кипиш начался. Вроде даже техника была. Короче, надо проверить эти места. Свои все у меня уже заняты работой. Так что ты вовремя объявился.
So just a regular recon job?
Ага, осмотри все вокруг Ультры на развязке. Особенно если технику услышишь или найдешь. Потом мне все расскажешь.
Alright, so he wants us to scout around
Ага,
Interchange.
На связи тогда.
So you can see here, go to there, survive and extract from Interchange, visit Interchange 3 times. So I like how, you know, you can't get stuck on the tutorial. This isn't like, what is that? Souls? Yeah. Where, you know, you can't beat the tutorial boss and then, oh well, you're not good enough for the game. No, it's like, yeah, you can either, if you manage to extract from Interchange, you can advance. Or, if you just die on it 3 times, you can also advance. So, that's what it's telling us there. So, with that, let's get it done. Oh, also, we can see that the traders, we have a new side mission. These are not necessary for the main quest, but they can influence the main quest, some of these side missions. But here it's saying, okay, can you escape from Emercom on ground 0? Oh, I don't want to give in my LEDX. And then you have to hand over 3 found in raid medical items. Ragman doesn't have anything for us yet, and the other ones are locked until we progress the storyline. So we're going to progress the storyline. Shouldn't be too bad. You go to Escape from Tarkov. You have a couple of choices. You can either play as your scav. So this is a character that will spawn into the map with random gear. You kind of get a preview of the gear by looking at them. But you don't know what's in your pockets. Maybe you have a labs card in your pockets. Maybe you have nothing. Or, yeah. And then if you manage to click on your scav, if you manage to go to one of the locations and escape, you survive your interactions with other scavs. Sometimes there are scav players out there that will just shoot you and betray you, or you're able to either survive the PMCs on the map, and if you're able to escape, you get to keep whatever your scav has. And so you 0 investment, huge payoff possibility type of run. The only downside is that you load into the map a little later, so some of the good loot might already be gone if the PMCs already took it. So that's there, but the main story, side quests, all of that is done with your PMC, and this is the one that, as you play a game, if you die, you lose all your belongings. So we have so many belongings in our profile. We have a lot of backup stuff, and so we're just going to do this. We're going to go to Interchange. It's hard to see at night, so I'm going to avoid the nighttime. I'm going to go during the day. I'm going to insure all my stuff. I don't know what it's like for people to steal your stuff in PVE, but we're just going to insure it, and then we're just going to ready up. Now, I don't really have any side quests on here, so I'm just going to maybe just pretty much go from one side of the map to the other, escape. We won't spend too much time on this map, and then hopefully we can keep advancing in the storyline, keep unlocking more and more maps. So we'll do this Interchange map together, and then I'll probably end the episode there, and that'll be chapter 1, the tutorial and Interchange. So here you can just take a look at what equipment you have. What are you bringing into the raid? Making sure it's all good. Now, maybe I should have added more things to my MDR. In terms of attachments, help with the recoil and stuff. But with this game, and the recoil on it, I probably will just shoot single fire, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yes, there are so many updates during this game. The developer is always tweaking stuff, so I almost have as much fun just keeping up with the updates, seeing how they're tweaking it, when compared to just playing the game and all that stuff. So it looks like we spawned on the power plant side of the map, and if I look, I can see that the railway exit is what they've given me. I can already hear some gunfire, so maybe I shouldn't run this way, but I will. I'm looking for the base on the side. Oh, there it is. Is this base? No, it's not. Now I'm kind of disorientated. Let's still go over here. Maybe that's it over there. Even though I might not need the hand drill, I'll still pick it up. I thought there was a toolbox here. This is base here. See if anyone else is here. I love the seasons too that they give in the game. During the winter, I'll be covered in snow. Sometimes during the summer, they might have like a heat wave event. I'm gonna drop this hand drill. I don't need it. And stuff like that. And they'll make it so that you can like dehydrate. You'll dehydrate faster during the summer, or during the winter, you can get like frostbite. So it's gonna check around here. Sure. Oh, what does it want me to? Oh, yeah, okay. I definitely love this new quest thing that they introduced. Definitely, I'm seeing a lot more stuff that I probably would have missed during my other runs. So one thing people do is something called like insurance fraud. So if I find this like better armor, I might drop it. I like this one better because it protects the neck. So we're gonna keep that. And I know that that armor, I'll get it back in insurance. So if no one takes the armor during the raid, it will come back to me. See what we got here. So I might just put that in there. Alright. So not too much at the base there. now let's make our way. Let's just make our way to the railway. You just have to make sure that you get. There's like a certain threshold of XP that you have to get before you exit, or else it will count as a run through. And then when it's a run through, it doesn't really count as a survive. So you won't complete quests that say like survive this map. Like, no, you need to spawn in, get enough XP, which can be looting, killing, or I think you get like a boost of XP if you've been in the raid for at least 10 minutes. So even if you stand still for 10 minutes at least, or stay in the raid for 10 minutes, you can get that boost, and then you can exit. So I was thinking that you probably will like about PVE is that you kind of run through the game, have a little bit, I don't know, I feel like I would probably have a little bit more security when I'm in an obscure part of the map like this, because when it comes to PvP, you don't really know who you'll run into or where they are, because sometimes players do just go to like the weirdest part of the map. They're on the edges. Maybe they got lost. And so here we're just trying to... I think I might need this for a quest later. So I'm gonna grab that. Oh, that's screwed up. There's a glitch for sure. Oh, I didn't skip on the sugar. You can't skip on the sugar. That's crazy. Shot without saying anything. This guy's got grenades? Crazy. Glad he didn't throw that grenade. So I think we've got some kills. You can hear them. Getting some scab kills here. We're just going to head to the exit, continue on this main storyline. Yeah, my endurance right now isn't the greatest, you can see. But, again, one of the joys of this game is that the more you play, the more you level up that endurance, the longer you run. I believe the top level of a skill is level 50, and so something to work towards if you just want, you know, this game is all about personal goals. So like, what do you want to do in this game? Do you want to do the main story? Do you want to focus on the side missions? You know, there are things in this game such as like unlocking a larger pouch, uh, finishing or maxing out skills, finishing storyline quests. You know, I think this is the type of game where you can really set. Oh, there's a guy. You can probably hear that incoming plane. That means that an airdrop is probably going to drop soon. So some people will want to watch it, see where it drops. But of course, you know, it's always something to be careful for, as players will camp it. But the payoff could be good. Or it could not be. Sometimes I think I've seen some joke airdrops come from the developers. It's like a whole airdrop just full of like heavy bleed rubber bands, S marks, that are worth not that much on the market. And so sometimes, yeah, it pays off. Sometimes it's just may not have been worth the risk. So here we are. I'm kind of going through the side of the map in order to just find like a direct route to the railway exit here. Those PMCs were just looking at the sky? Is that what they were doing? Anyways, it just looks like a duo that spawned in and then... Oh, I guess there's a... Maybe they're looting this other guy. They got stuck. Alright, let's see what they got. This is the level 22 guy. Kind of ammo they get? FMJ? Okay, interesting. How about this guy? What do you have? Okay, an MPX. Level 42? Crazy. Cougar? I'm not really a flash damage type of player, so I'll leave it. Oh, yeah, the mule stem? Okay, kind of plates. There's one last one here. G36. Contact 2s. Let's take that. Salt bag. There's so much inventory stuff you gotta like do in this game. It's kind of crazy. All right, probably super heavy now. But that's how we up our strength, you know. So. So yeah, of course, PMCs and the PvP version wouldn't just stand and look at the air. Maybe they were looting that dead body or something like that, or trying to see. But you know, in PvE, you can like run into people that are in the middle of looting that aren't paying attention. So you can still run up and still get those headshots and see what happened. So here, we survived, got so much XP. Can go back to our stash, bring stuff back in. Right, that's something I'll do later off camera. But let's go back to Ragman. If you take a look at our main story, you know, it says tell Ragman what you found during that raid. So let's go back and let's have a chat.
А, привет, брат.
I scouted all around Ultra being the mall. No working vehicles, no suspicious sounds, all quiet.
Чё, совсем ничего нету, да? Если и в лагере пусто, точно не конвой. Значит, и переживать нечего.
I did my part. You promised to show me the way forward.
Да помню я все, Акпер. Дальше иди на таможню. Это промка такая у завода. Там всем барыга местный заправляет по кличке Лыжник. К нему тоже зайди обязательно. Только на таможне его не ищи. Он, наверное, опять на свою базу на севере уехал. Там с ним и поговоришь.
How's this skier with strangers?
От него всякого можно ожидать. Он ведь тоже из говна поднялся. Через многое прошел. Но за тебя я ему поясню, так что поговорить к себе пустит. А дальше уже все от тебя зависит, брат.
Well, thanks for the help.
Ты это, если с эвакуацией не выгорит, захаживай к барахольщику. Для таких, как ты, у меня всегда работа найдется.
I've got to go.
До встречи, брат.
Now if we go back to trading, talk to skier. All right. Let's go to skier.
Ты чё там трёшься? Да не ссы. Мне за тебя все рассказали. В порт собираешься? План говно, конечно, но дело твое.
I'm ready to evac from here too if there's a spot. You're the one who runs this port, right?
А ты больно глазастый, да? На мою территорию не смотри даже. Все выходы с северного порта в самом начале захерачили. Так что по воде ты отсюда никуда не выйдешь.
But I see the ships sitting right behind you.
Да мало ли что стоит. Считай, это их последняя стоянка, ну или как это у моряков называется. Только южный терминал в рабочем состоянии остался. Но там эти вояки засели. Всех тогда с теплого места согнали, падлы.
All right then. Ragman said you know the customs area well. Can you tell me how to get through?
Таможка — это ж по сути промка Полихима номер 16. Так что мимо завода ты никак не пройдешь. Но там все заминировано, и подходы знать надо.
And I suppose you won't just share them for free, correct?
А ты что думал, в сказку попал? Если халтурку сделаешь одну, так я тебе не только подходы покажу, еще и со спецом одним свяжу. Если б не его загоны философские, был бы идеальным партнером в натуре.
What kind of job?
Недавно одни пацанчики совсем страх потеряли. И склад мой попытались штурмануть. По земле они больше не ходят, но склад ремонтировать надо.
Do I look like a handyman? Or do I look like a repairman? Want me to lay some tiles while I'm at it?
Слышь, ты за базаром-то следи! Нахер ты мне на складах не упал, еще позицию кому-нибудь сдашь? Я тебе ничего, кроме сбора стройматериалов, и не доверил бы так-то. Я сейчас и в этом сомневаюсь.
Okay, relax. I'll grab what you need. Just tell me where to look.
Искать сам будешь, ёпта. На таможке поковыряйся, может, найдешь что в мусоре. Больше я тебе помогать не буду. Сначала базарить научись.
Fine. Won't drag it out. Oh, wow. Does the game punish you for being rude? Oh, man. Right. So I think at our next playthrough, we'll play through customs, hand over some building materials, and we'll keep progressing through the game. But as you can see, if I go to my map, we started off as ground zero. We unlocked Streets of Tarkov, but pinged at 250. We got Interchange, and survived it. And then now we are given customs. And so we'll continue just with the main storyline here, getting through all the different parts of the map, and continuing to just, playing through and enjoying this masterpiece that BSG has been putting together for years now. And so I'll spend some time organizing the inventory here, but look forward to catching you on the next episode.